Good evening. County Mayor Jimmy Sane with Bolivar Mayor Julia McTizick. We want to talk to you a minute about this COVID-19 virus. And we have been doing, both of us doing updates almost daily. We've been tracking information out of Nashville from the Tennessee Department of Health. And as you know, Hardeman County does have one case now. You also know by watching the news that the east part of our county has been hit pretty severely. And we're trying to be proactive today in what we're going to do to try to slow the spreading down as it comes across Tennessee. What we're doing today, and Mayor McTizick will talk about it in a minute, is we're trying to save lives. And we've listened to the governor on his daily reports, and the state has been doing a good job of trying to balance economics with businesses versus the virus and how to handle it medically. We were on same page with the governor until this weekend when the Tennessee Medical Association, which is most of the doctors across the state, asked the governor last week to tighten down on the executive orders and what's going on in Tennessee. He did not do that Friday, so through much prayer and much thought about what we need to do for Hardeman County and for our citizens, Mayor McTizick and I have been talking the last 2 days quite a bit. We had a conference call with all of the city mayors within Hardeman County today. And I'd like to read this proclamation that the cities have adopted also, and this will be what will rule us in Hardeman County for the next 7 days. The governor did do an update today at 3 o'clock covering about 99% of what is in our state of emergency. But we would like to read that for you now. It says, whereas the coronavirus disease 2019, which is COVID-19, is a respiratory disease that can lead to serious illness or death. And whereas on January 21st, 2020, following the guidance of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the Tennessee Department of Health designated COVID-19 as a reportable disease in Tennessee. And whereas on March 11, 2020, the World Health Organization declared the COVID-19 outbreak a global pandemic. And whereas on March the 12th, 2020, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee issued an executive order to facilitate the treatment and containment of COVID-19, pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotated 582107. Whereas on March the 13th, 2020, President Trump declared a national state of emergency in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas COVID-19 is a danger to the health, welfare, and economic well-being of the citizens of Hardeman County. And whereas it is imperative that the county take all necessary measures to contain COVID-19 and prevent its spread throughout the county. And whereas in the judgment of the undersigned, an emergency currently exists within Hardeman County as defined in TCA 389102. Whereas as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact, a public health emergency does exist in Hardeman County. And whereas starting March 31st, 2020 at 12:01 a.m. until April the 7th, 2020 at 12:01 a.m., non-essential businesses will be closed. Essential businesses being hospitals, medical facilities, pharmacies, medical supply stores, gas stations, hardware stores, laundromats and banks, auto service, hotels, daycares, and pet stores may remain open with drive-through, curbside, auto pay pump service only. All gas station facilities must be closed to walk-in traffic. Grocery stores may open their doors with a limit of 1/3 of the occupancy capacity rating, and those numbers must be posted on the door. Restaurants and hardware stores may remain open with curb service only with all doors locked to walk-in traffic. All parks and public recreational facilities must close. There shall be no public gatherings of 10 or more at any event on any property. This includes inside or outside of a facility, as well as inside or outside of a facility, a vehicle at a facility or in a facility. There shall be social distancing of a minimum of 6 feet. And whereas industry that is infrastructural, critical, and are producing U.S. military products may remain opening following the CDC requirements and having medical facilities with nursing at the facility. And whereby Hardeman County does call upon its law enforcement agencies to enforce this proclamation to the full extent of the law. And therefore, I, Jimmy Sain, Mayor of Hardeman County, do hereby declare that a state of emergency exists as it relates to the COVID-19 pandemic, and do hereby invoke the authority granted by Tennessee law and any other applicable law for the duration of this emergency. Now, this is for 7 days and can be made another 7 days if necessary, but right now it is through April the 7th, 2020 at 12:01 a.m. And I'd like Mayor McTizick to read the city's declaration.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you so much. It was with a lot of prayer that we had to make this decision. It was nothing that we took lightly, but this is the point that we're at, and we're asking all of our citizens, would you please do your very best in following these orders that we put in place here. As mayor of Bolivar and the county seat, we would have to implement a state of emergency in order for the businesses and the citizens of Bolivar to be under this agreement as well. So I have here a declaration of state of emergency by the mayor of Bolivar, Tennessee. Whereas a novel coronavirus, which causes the disease COVID-19, has spread through the world and has now been declared a global pandemic by the World Health Organization. And whereas March 12, 2020, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee declared a state of emergency to deploy additional resources to combat the spread of the virus. And on March 13, 2020, President Donald Trump declared a national emergency over the coronavirus pandemic. And whereas the symptoms of COVID-19, including fever, coughing, and shortness of breath, and in some cases, the virus has caused death. And whereas the spread of this additional cases of COVID-19 in Tennessee is likely to continue, which creates a substantial risk to the public health and safety. And whereas proactive measures must be taken to prevent and contain the spread of COVID-19 throughout the city of Bolivar, including but not limited to social distancing and limiting gatherings of people. And whereas Governor Lee has issued Executive Order 17, 21, and 22, ordering the closure of certain businesses and limitations on certain public gatherings to combat the spread of COVID-19. And whereas a local state of emergency continues in Bolivar, Tennessee, for which action is necessary to ensure the health, safety, and welfare of the community as authorized by Tennessee law. Now, therefore, I, Julian McTizick, Mayor of Bolivar, Tennessee, pursuant to the laws of the state of Tennessee, do hereby declare that a local state of emergency is hereby declared for Bolivar, Tennessee, pursuant to the laws of the state of Tennessee, including but not limited to TCA Code 38.9.104, 58.2.110, and 58.8.104 of the Tennessee Code Annotated, and further directs the following orders be enacted. The local state of emergency shall continue for no more than 7 days. This declaration of a local or state disaster activities, the Bolivar Emergency Management Plan. All individuals currently living within the Tennessee of Bolivar are strongly advised to stay at their place of residence unless engaged in essential activities outlined in this declaration. For the purpose of this declaration, residents including but not limited to hotels, motels, shared rental units, and similar facilities. To the extent of individuals are using shared or outdoor spaces, they must at all times reasonably possibly maintain social distancing of at least 6 feet from every person where they are outside of their residence. All persons may leave their residence only for essential activities and essential services as defined by this declaration. All individuals currently living within Bolivar, Tennessee should only travel for essential activities and participate in activities that follow social distancing guidelines. Mass gatherings are prohibited. Within Bolivar, Tennessee, all public and private gatherings of more than 10 people occurring outside or inside a household living unit are prohibited, except for the limited purposes of expressing this declaration. Whereas within Bolivar, Tennessee, essential services businesses are required to practice social distancing. For clarity, essential and non-essential services business may continue operation consistent exclusively with employees and contractors performing activities at their residence or at their place of business. Essential activities for the purpose of this order will include engaging in essential activities to person's health, safety, or safety of a family household member, obtaining necessary services or supplies for persons and their family or household members, providing or receiving delivery or curbside carryout delivery or online telephone orders from business to organizations that do not perform or not necessary for the performance of essential activities, caring for or visiting a family member or friend outside of the household that needs help with assistance. Visiting a place of worship shall also be included in this declaration. Essential travel related to essential activities only. Travel related to performing care for elderly, minors, or dependents. Travel into and from institutions receiving distant learning or meals for related services. The following businesses are ordered to be closed within Bolivar, Tennessee: barbershops, hair salons, body art facilities or tattoo services, concert venues, theaters, parks, public gathering facilities, gyms, or fitness arenas. Restaurants and similar food or drink establishments shall not be open to persons only through drive-through, pickup, or carry-out and delivery service for food or drink. The people are encouraged to use such services as drive-through, pickup, and carry-out. This declaration does not include or prohibit an employee, contractor, or vendor, or supplier of an essential business entering or exiting that facility. Nothing in this declaration shall be construed to limit, prohibit, or restrict in any way access essential services for low-income residents and not including food banks. Violation of this order set forth through this declaration shall be punishable by the state of Tennessee, and this declaration shall take effect at 12:01 a.m. March 34th, 2020, declared this 30th day of March 2020. Julian A. McTizick, Mayor of Bolivar.
Okay, let's talk about a few things right quick. What we're asking the restaurants to do is to go to curbside only, unless you have a pickup window, drive-through window, those type facilities. And the reason that we put that in the county's proclamation today was this past weekend, we had several calls on a fast food restaurant that had more than 10 people standing at the counter waiting to pick up their food and pay for their food. That, folks, will get us in trouble right there. We need to limit that. The rule is no gatherings more than 10 in any facility. So with our declaration, it is curbside. We're urging you to do curbside only. I know there's several restaurants here in Bolivar doing that already. Just have someone carry the food out and limit the contact that how many people would actually have contact with somebody on a food order. As far as the hardware and parts places, you can repair automobiles. People will call you and make an appointment, leave their vehicle out. Your employee can carry it inside and do the work. As far as parts, we know that our farmers are out there trying to get ready to go to the fields, and we have other people out in the fields and timber business and all. And we don't want to limit the parts availability, but we want you to do curb parts. So you can call any of your parts stores, put in an order there for your parts, and then bring it out to you. What we're doing here for the citizens of Hardeman County is we've got to stop the spread when it hits Hardeman County. And we're going to be proactive at this point instead of reactive. When it does hit, our concern and the nation's concern is, such as New York, New Jersey, there are not enough medical facilities to handle all the people at one time that have gotten the virus in those areas. So we know that it's going to come through here. We know people are going to get the virus. We want to have the medical facilities available to get them well quickly and get them back at home. So this is very important that we follow these rules and these guidelines and slow it in Hardeman County. I hope Hardeman County has the least number of people that are in contact with this disease, and we wish everybody the best out there. Another thing is, like Mayor McTizick's declaration says, wash your hands several times a day. Do not touch your face. That is the way that the virus gets in your system, is through your nose, mouth, eyes, or ears. So limit your touching your face during the day. Keep your hands clean and sanitize. Please sanitize. Mayor McTizick, would you like to talk about the enforcement?
Yes, on behalf of the city of Bolivar, we know that we are the county seat and majority of our retail businesses and our restaurants establishments are in our city. What we're going to do is we're trying our best to make sure we're fair and respectful to everyone, but we're asking our citizens, please follow these guidelines. And if you don't, we have instructed our police department to issue misdemeanor citations for not abiding by the state of emergency that's put in place by myself as mayor and by our county mayor and as well as our governor. We're asking that you follow these orders, and if you don't, you will be cited for this. I've sent all of our police officers out to monitor and close our public facilities. Our parks have been closed, and we're monitoring the restaurant facilities as well as all the other essential businesses that's there to make sure they're following the guidelines of the social distancing as well as other guidelines that's put in place by the state of emergency. And we're asking all of our citizens to be respectful to your fellow citizen. No one wants to do this. It's hard that we're under this right now. We put this off as long as we could, but we're at the point now where we're trying to do our best to make sure we're saving lives, and we're doing everything we can to protect the ones that's most vulnerable. So we're asking you, out of the kindness of our heart as a fellow citizen, to follow these orders that's put in place here under the state of emergency.
And also, one concern for the both of us is Walmart. We know many of you shop at Walmart. They are a big retail organization, and Julia and I both went out and spoke with management at our local Walmart today. They're going to limit the number of people in there at one time. The declaration states that they're going to voluntarily do that. So be patient with Walmart. They're going to have someone bringing the baskets to the people at the door. They're going to have backpack sprayers with sanitizing materials, and they will sanitize and spray every basket before you use it. Limit what you touch in Walmart. Please only go once a week. Try to do your grocery shopping one day a week, and buy what you need, your essentials. There's no time to be shopping in Walmart. There's no time to be carrying family members in Walmart. We had calls this weekend, and we went out and witnessed families of 5 with 3 children going into Walmart. That is something that should not be done right now. It's not safe. It's not healthy. Try to get the most vulnerable of your neighbors. Try to get a list of groceries from them and pick them up for them so we can limit the number of people that are in Walmart and our grocery stores. So we've done what we dreaded, having to do a state of emergency for all of our cities and county, but we're doing this from the depth of our heart to protect citizens of Hardeman County. So we hope you understand. We've had a lot of questions since we were on the radio, one of the radio stations today announcing this, people calling wanting to know what was essential and what was non-essential business. We will tell you that probably 90% of the businesses in our county is essential. And let me state that you can go onto the Homeland Security website and find out what they label as essential and non-essential. I listed a lot of the essential businesses in the declaration that I read earlier. And we want you to know that every business is important to us throughout Hardeman County. But we have to weigh out protecting our citizens from an unknown and invisible enemy that we have out there. Nobody knows exactly how this thing's going to play out, but we're trying to be proactive to save lives, and we think that these declarations may very well save some lives in Hardeman County. All the other mayors have adopted pretty much the same declaration, so this carries out throughout our county. And I just ask you to make smart decisions and be safe out there with your health. And take this very seriously because it is a serious crisis going on right now. So be safe and God bless. Mayor McKissick.
Thank you so much. This is not our first crisis in our community. We'll get through it together. We'll be stronger in the end of this, and we're going to support everyone that's been affected by this throughout this and to make sure we're better than what we started off when we came through this. So thank you so much.
Good night.
This declaration will be on our city's website, as well as the declaration that's issued by Governor Lee. You can look at that at www.cityofbolivar.com.